tell you something about NewSilkRoads, but first I will tell you something about me. I'm Helga Delaere. Yeah, sorry, my surname is a bit complicated. That's because I'm from Belgium. Grew up in the Netherlands, so I rather feel Dutch actually, and live here since January, which I really enjoy. Before I worked a lot in community management, creating communities, mobilizing communities, online and offline. So to put it in a short way, I think I'm always passionate about how to mobilize large groups of people, even internationally, for a specific goal. And the reason I'm here tonight is also because I'm one of the co-founders of NewSilkRoads. Let's start with the old Silk Road. So the old Silk Road was a pathway that was connecting Europe all the way to China, passing through the whole Middle East and also India. This was a pathway where there were a lot of goods traded. Goods like European gold, Chinese silk, of course, that's why it's called the Silk Road, but also tapestry, Persian horses, all kind of goods. At the same time, it was also a road where a lot of knowledge and ideas were exchanged. And this also resulted in new innovations and inventions, like, for example, the gunpowder. What we see today is that this road is not really existing in the way it did before. And there is a lack of connectivity. For example, if you look at younger generations, young people, startups, they don't know where to find others that are doing the same kind of thing abroad. At the same time, regions like the Middle East, people have a very negative image. They don't see the opportunities. They only hear the news about terrorism or maybe revolutions, and they can maybe think of some camels but don't know the potential. Besides, another thing that is happening at the moment is that there is a global tilt happening, a global shift, where first the economic power was really in Western Europe, in the USA, in Japan. We see that this is shifting towards emerging markets like the Middle East, like India, like Brazil. And what can be said is competing with the South means reckoning with the reality that the financial premiums you've long enjoyed may be at risk. This is something Ram Shriram, the writer of The Global Tilt, said in his book, amazing book, you all have to read it. This is really true. So it means when you are operating from the north, you really have to expand and explore to other markets to grow. And we are at the moment also in a war for jobs, something we already heard before in the presentation. And it's not the same in every part of the world. So maybe here there's a lack of jobs in general. In the Middle East, there are a lot of jobs, but there's not enough talent. So if you have a great person in your team, the other day someone else will buy the person out. So, you know, we really always have to find the talent and, of course, try to keep them involved. Of course, there are what we call first movers, companies, young, creative people, of course, also existing companies, bigger brands, that are taking the risks, that are exploring new markets. And also because these days, a lot of people have the same access to knowledge, to information as anywhere actually in the world. To name some examples, we have a company in Pakistan, a great company that is called Plan 9, that is a technology incubator. At the same time, for example, a really nice example I like is Easy Taxi, that was founded in Brazil and is now in 120 cities all over the world already. And they look at the cities where their app is really fitting to. Look at Cairo, 20 million people, of which 50% is under 30. So great clients for a mobile app. At the same time, the traffic is horrible. You don't know how to come from A to B. And your taxi driver also doesn't know the way. So you better have your app with you. This is why we started the New Silk Road. Because we think to grow and to be innovative, larger companies need to have access to talented people along the Silk Road, abroad in other countries. And at the same time, these talented young entrepreneurs need to work with bigger clients to grow. For example, in a lot of countries, it's difficult to get investment. So what we do is we give access to talented people along the Silk Road. So what we do is we provide larger companies that have a specific demand, a specific problem, access to these people, and they are coming up with the solutions and also execute the solutions. To make it a bit more concrete, this is how we work. This is the methodology we developed, and it has 3 steps, and we call it an expedition. It's very simple. It always starts with the demand of a company. Then, based on this demand, we are going to browse, like search in a very large community. At the moment, we have a community of 100,000 people. We ask these people, and often these are companies, to come up with a solution, and this should be a solution they can also execute. So it's not just a platform for ideas. And then we select the best, let the client give feedback on that, and at the end, there is a company or more companies that get the deal. So they get a contract, they get the money to execute their solution for the client, the international client. To give you an example, at the moment we are working together with a large Dutch brand, a beverage brand that wants to introduce a new drink on the Egyptian market. They have their whole distribution ready, but they don't know the market. They don't know the cool young people that can think of nice ideas for their local branding. For example, they say they use like the wrong slogans because people in Egypt really like other things. For example, don't shout out that it's 0% alcohol when there's no alcohol inside. Why would you even mention? So with this specific project, we are asking the community. In this case, these are companies in media, guerrilla campaigning, events, communication. We ask them to come up with an idea, with a concept, how to promote this Dutch company in Egypt and make them one of the 5 biggest brands in Egypt for drinks. So this is their task, and everyone who has a track record can join. So then, of course, a lot of ideas come in, concept. We ask them to make a little movie and to make a simple concept. Send it to us, we make a selection. Based on this selection, we invite the best ones. We bring the client over to Egypt and work a few days together to give them feedback. And at the end, in this specific example, there will be 5 companies that at the end get the deal. So get a contract and get also the money to execute their solution. Can be a one-time event, can be a 3-year campaign, can be including all billboards in whole Egypt, but also can be like an ice bucket. We said we don't want this kind of things, but it can be anything. And that's why we also don't want to give them directions, because it might be the first time we ever try if it works. So this is actually an example of the way we are using this model, but we use this model for all kind of topics. This is an example for foods and beverages, but we can also use it to say, for example, in China, okay, how can we make the brand Amsterdam popular in China? Come up with an idea to do that. Or, for example, we are talking to people in Saudi Arabia. If they have a very big part of land and they want to do something with renewable energy, go to Germany or the Netherlands and say, okay, which young startup has an amazing idea of what to do with this land? Come up with your idea, and when you have a great one, you might meet a person who is going to execute it. And maybe to tell you a little bit more, because I still have some time left, that's amazing, I'm talking very fast, I suppose. What is really nice about this model is, and that's also why we designed it like this, because I worked a lot with mobilizing communities, is that it's always important that it's a very specific project with a very clear beginning and end, and a very specific target group. So we don't want to have a large community that is every day on our platform, and we don't need that. We only want that people are involved for like 1 or 3 months to be part of this, and then they're out. And then we go to another country. There we have an interesting deal. So we don't try to involve all these people all the time, but we really created this expedition model to involve people in a very short time, very intensive, also using online and offline tools. So we also always do a lot of local events. We hire always a local mobilizer who is going to organize everything locally to make sure that the people, that we reach out to the best people, and then at the end also don't try to keep them involved. But it's for them, it's business. You have it's kind of sales for the companies too. We're coming to them with a new company. So this is how we are dealing with this. And till now it works very well. I have to say it's very complicated to work in the way we are. So we're hiring people on project base when we are doing something in a country, and we found out that the current legal structure internationally is very difficult if you look at this like freelance way of working. So in a lot of countries you still have to establish an office and do all this kind of procedures to do business there. So we really also try to build a new legal structure with some consultants now to really make sure we can just focus on the business opportunities and the fun we are doing together, and opportunity-based working. Yeah, to keep it, I think that's it. So I would like to say to everyone who's here in the audience, please take the opportunities abroad, explore new markets, because specifically if you have an online app or you're working in IT, there is enormous market in many countries abroad. And I see here people who are trying to get like 500 or maybe 5,000 likes on their Facebook. If you go to a country like Egypt, it's peanuts. So why not starting there? Because everyone will love it and like it. Thank you very much.